What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Haven't done too many videos lately, just been super tied up with in real life stuff. A couple of my businesses, of course, they're really taxing as far as the time commitment and everything. Had a lot of stuff going on with the family and all that, so it's been a challenging couple weeks, especially with the in and out of town travel, but things have been going pretty good overall, keeping everything afloat. My kid had a jiu-jitsu tournament over the weekend. He took home a silver medal, so that's pretty awesome. He's getting to be a gangster, which is fun to watch out there because he's still pretty little. I jacked up my leg yesterday super hard. My arms have been hurting a lot. I have like some sort of nerve issue or whatever, so I need to take a couple days off the gym and jiu-jitsu. So decided in order to let myself recover, we just go do some hill sprints, right? Throw the cleats on, sprint up the hill. So we did that for about an hour, and the next run was supposed to be our last run. We got to the top, and I stepped on some sprinkler box that was hidden under the grass, and it just snapped and gave way, and my leg went down and crushed all the piping that was under there. It looks like a water main. And so just jacked up my shin, kind of twisted my ankle, twisted my knee. It's not super bad. I've been icing it, and so I'll live, but it snapped that water main and like flooded everything. So anyway, it was a super crazy day. I'll try to like post some pictures in the Telegram or whatever so I can explain the story, because it's just unbelievable. Literally 1 minute we're running up the hill, just kind of moved down to a slow jog. If I had probably still been running, it probably would have broke my leg, so I'm glad that didn't happen. But yeah, just a bunch of random stuff. Some other stuff with the family that's been a little bit challenging, and the in real life businesses, man, they're taxing. I know if any of you guys own your own business, you realize like it is just a non-stop gauntlet. I feel like every time I get a little breathing room, something else happens, but that's how it goes. And I don't feel like the DeFi world has been that much different. Right now, drip is down to 2 cents. It's about to dip under 2 cents and be like 1.8, 1.9. So that is not a very good sign. I expect this to keep falling. I just don't see what could keep it up. I mean, there's no momentum. Nothing's coming out for drip that'll work. Triple D was a great idea, just implemented way too late. I mean, we took a year to 18 months to revamp the team and get all that done. And in DeFi, specifically when you're in a bear market, we just needed to turn that around faster. So it fell all the way to 25 cents before we actually came out with new utility. Way too late, big sell-off, didn't get as much traction. Not as many people want to play because the max wallet's nothing right now, you know what I mean? So there's not a ton of reasons for people to come in and use Triple D, because you could, earn a max wallet for what, 2 cents? What's that? Like a little over $500 would get you a max wallet. Am I doing my math right? Anyway, it's not good. Whatever it is, whatever the number is, it's not good. I don't know what the price of Furio is at right now, but it's probably down here. And the price of ARK is like 4 times the price of drip right now. So I know a lot of people, this is why I tell people don't throw stones in DeFi, because we all live in glass houses. You don't know how long projects are going to last or what's going to happen. And so people come out and just thrash another project talking about how it's terrible or whatever. And next thing you know, you're looking at a 2 cent drip, and there's other projects out there that, supposedly failed before yours did. And their token price is 4 times the price of drip right now. So anyway, don't throw stones in DeFi. You never know what's going to happen. I can't stand that like territorial investment style that a lot of people have, where it's their project and nothing else. I think that's a dumb way to go about life. So anyway, nothing really to talk about drip. Just sold a little bit. I think I'm down in drip to like an $8,000 loss. So, just slowly chipping away at it, if you will. And I don't know exactly what's going to happen. There's going to be a point where it doesn't even make sense to claim or compound at all, which is probably coming pretty soon, maybe like next month. Then I don't know what I'll do with my wallets. I got multiple maxed out wallets. I got a couple that I've just been building up. So if it turns into anything again, then I would have those. But I think we're basically getting to the point where drip's maybe not going to be dead, because the contract will still be going, but it's going to be dormant probably until the next bull run. So we'll see. Maybe the next bull run will pick this thing up, or maybe they'll come out with some cool utility or something for it to be utilized. But as it is right now, I to be negative, but there's just no reason, no catalyst for this. And there really hasn't been in a super long time. We needed to have come out with Triple D way earlier. We needed to come out with Scratchy. We needed to come out with all sorts of stuff for the ecosystem that just never actually developed. Some sort of catalyst was needed, of course. You know, that partnership with Pancake Swap, or the one that got killed with Ape Swap, or the multitude of other things that kind of came up as possibilities. I know some of those died for legitimate reasons, but we needed one or two of them to happen while the price was falling to kind of level it out. And that way we could come out with real utility. But again, we basically had 18 months of straight down, and here we are at 2 cents. Next up, we'll talk about Animal Farm. This one's just been super painful. Pigs at 16. It's actually up a little bit. It was down at 15. Dogs have fallen under the $3 mark. So again, like, these are not good for asset prices. I hold a lot of dogs, and I've hung on to like 100 pigs. Let me switch wallets. So a total here of like 622 dogs, and these are barely yielding me anything. I just let this build up for like a month or something like that. I had like $10 in B&B. So I'm really earning almost nothing here. The dogs price can continue to fall because, you know, you're in the farms or whatever, you're just creating more dogs. So that inflation is going to make it worse and worse. So not really looking forward to what's going to happen with the dogs price. Pig's price, again, is not holding up well either. I mean, there's not a lot of momentum here. We're still what you would say in a bear market for the most part. So this is another scenario where I think I just got to wait for the bull run. I'm not buying any additional. I'm probably just going to keep my 100 pigs and keep my dogs. I guess if it goes really low and it seems like we're starting to pick back up and we're about to hit the bull market, maybe I'll buy some more, just a speculative play. But as it is right now, I'm basically just sitting on a huge loss, and I'm going to consider it a loss, and I'm just going to hang on to the assets in case something crazy happens in the bull market. But I'm probably down close to 20,000 in Animal Farm. So by far my biggest loss. I'd say Drip's my second biggest loss that I've ever had in DeFi, and by far my biggest loss, unfortunately, would be the Animal Farm. So they're not dead yet. Hopefully things will come back around and I can chip away at that and at least get back to break even at some point. But of course it would be nice to make money. But yeah, unfortunately, if you weren't a big dog right out the gate to be earning some of those big fees, I don't know that any of us little guys really ever made too much money in either one of the protocols, unfortunately. And for Drip, you know, it's unfortunate. I'm at 90,000 drip claimed here, so I got about 10,000 left. How much of that, of course, is going to go over to the whale tax? I definitely won't end up breaking even on this, but you know, you live and you learn. I didn't get in at the top. You know, people will say, well, you bought the top and that's the reason. No, I bought her in around 50 and spent a good amount of money there. Of course, that was a big run up over those few months, but it went all the way up to almost 200 before it came back down. So I definitely didn't buy the top, and I continued to dollar cost average all the way down. I built a team, made a bunch of videos. I mean, I don't know what else I really could have done to try to boost this up, but you know, I can't imagine, unless you had a completely different strategy than I did, anybody actually really making money if they got in around where I got in or later, and continue to compound and try to blow that up for, you know, foreseeing something really positive happening in the future that just unfortunately didn't unfold. But let's move back over and talk about Pulse Drip, which is the new protocol that may end up doing something nice over on Pulse Chain. So 1537, the current token price, it went up to like 17 something, back down. So it's been hanging out in this range, which I am liking. I just recently compounded. Again, I just have the two wallets, Biggie and Smalls, and I'm just going to continue to grow these. I may open up a smaller one sooner, and I think what I may do is leave this one in the middle and add to this one, just to speed up the process, see what happens. I don't know exactly what's going to happen here. Totally speculative play. They are doing some cool things with the garden. I'll make a video on that soon and start to play the garden. But you know, so far so good with this protocol. I'm liking it. My strategy is going to be for the next while to just compound until I hit a certain, you know, tier, and then I'll start to do a claim strategy like I probably should have done with Drip. I'll have like either a 6-in-1 or a 5-in-2. It'll be mostly compound, but take a little bit of profits along the way. So that's my idea, but I'm hoping that this token price holds up. Next up is Speakeasy drinks, and so far I'm doing pretty well on this one. I'm getting closer and closer to ROI. My claim day, I think, has been like Tuesday, so it was just a few days ago. I compounded. I think I did let it ride again. So I'm kind of building this up, kind of playing it a little bit more for the long run. I've done pretty well when I got the pre-sale tokens, so I think I'm still going to ROI, and then the rest of it will just be playing with house money, really speculative. But I've got a lot of tokens in here. I've got my TVL is 4.1 million tokens. So if this continues to do well, I could make some decent money off this one. So far so good. Kirk over at Speakeasy is actually coming out with something new. It's completely different. It's not a protocol like this at all. I don't want to talk too much about exactly what it is because it will roll out soon, but it's an in real life business and all that. So super slick. Kirk's an awesome guy if you guys have ever had a chance to talk to him. But that's coming out soon, and to my understanding, there'll be some investment opportunities there where you could make some decent cash. Next up, one of the shining stars for me, at least as of late, is BigWhale.io. Now, they did come out recently and talk about how they're going to possibly lower rates. I don't think there's anything official that they've come out with, and that happens eventually once you get to a certain TVL. Where's their TVL? Total value locked, 7,200 BNB, so 1.5 million, which is a tremendous amount. They have paid out 2.86 million, so that revenue has to be coming from somewhere. So, whatever they're doing with it, if they are just lending it out and that's where they're coming up with the money, fantastic. That means this would be a completely legitimate protocol. If they're doing something else with it, obviously I can't see behind the curtain, so I'm just reporting what I actually know and what I believe to be true. But it would make sense once you get to a certain TVL and you have a certain dollar amount, there's only so many people that want to take the loans at these higher rates, right? So eventually your interest is going to dive a little bit, and if the interest is diving and you're not allowed to use all that capital and lend it out, then your percentages are going to have to go down. So I hope it's not the beginning of the end. I hope they're able to just find a range. I would not mind at all to see them just cap this, to go, okay, sounds good, we took enough money in, our TVL is high enough, we can only lend out so much, we still want to be able to pay people 0.8% daily for as long as we can make this thing last. I wouldn't mind that, because if they keep taking on TVL, what's going to happen is more and more of that capital that's sitting on the contract is going to be unusable, and they're only going to be able to lend a smaller amount of that. And if they're lending a smaller amount of that, of course, that's going to, if you're spreading the profits across all those investors, it's going to lower your daily percentage. So again, I don't know exactly what's happening, but it does make sense that now that they've taken on so much of TVL, they can't get the same rates as far as lending, and that would change the percentage that needs to be paid out to investors. So just to make it more sustainable. So my 2 cents would be cap this thing, cap it at 1.6 or whatever. Or what they would need to do is maybe create, cap it here and then create a second pool that does something slightly different. If they want to go with a lower percentage pool that people can get into, and maybe the loans they give out for that pool are less high risk, and so it warrants a lower rate, something like that. I don't know. But right now, BigWhale.io is doing well. I am trying to keep tabs on it to figure out when they're going to drop it. If they are dropping the percentage, what that's going to be. So I'll do a video on that soon. But their TVL skyrocketed. I mean, everything is looking really good so far. So I cross my fingers, but I hope this one lasts. Jumping over to Sniper Fund, which recently died. Of course, these things don't last forever. Total value locked is 0. So it was like end of the week, beginning of the week, something like that. I forget where I was at, but I was out somewhere. Luckily, my admin shot me a message and said, try to get your last claim in. When I went to claim, when I finally hit my 24-hour window to where I could claim again, there wasn't enough money in the contract to cover what I had outstanding. But this is another protocol that worked well. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. It got up to a pretty solid TVL in the end, 165K, which is awesome. And I put in $1,000, I got 1234 back, which is what, 23%? I mean, if you can do 23% in 5 weeks on anything, that's a super killer platform. So while some people dogged on this one, I thought it worked really well. It was a slow starter. TVL started out low and then sped up, but the contract was immutable, the protocol was safe, it worked exactly like it was supposed to. And if you got in when I said, hey, we're getting in early, then you definitely made money on this one. So good to have another win. Don't forget all the great things happening over on Foodtopian. Obviously, shameless plug, this is my project. We've probably raised even more BNB than that, but we've done pretty well. BNB, the price of BNB has dropped, unfortunately. but we are coming out with some cool new things, starting to serve food. I don't know if you guys have seen the Telegram and everything of all the shopping we've been doing and putting, filling the freezers and getting everything ready. There's a lot of stuff that we need to sell before the end of this next month. There's just some things we need to get done. So look for some really good things to happen here in the near future. There's been a lot of extra red tape, which hasn't been super fun. But now that we've jumped through those hoops, we think we've got everything sorted with the bank and all the licenses and all that stuff we need to have to make sure that we're complying with all the rules and regulations of His Majesty's Kingdom. ARC, pretty much same thing going on there. I'm just claiming periodically, compounding some, just building it up. Again, the price is super low, but I am able to pull a claim a week out of it. That's a decent dollar amount, so still alive enough to be making a difference, and I'm hoping that some of the stuff they come out with will help and boost that price back up, but it needs a little juice. Auto drip runner's still doing well, but since the asset prices are so low, it's another one that's going to struggle. 9 to 5, it's like the 16th of this month or something like that they're going to offer refunds and everything. That one just did not turn out well. They are rolling a lot of the resources into a new protocol, which is like sports betting and everything. I need to do more vetting to see if that's something I want to get into. But let's see what happens. Again, in 2 weeks, refunds will come out, and then I'll make a decision from there. As I mentioned in my last video, green figures, Mo was going a little bit crazy online one day, got me concerned. I requested my withdrawal, and I should have it back today, technically. Because it said when I withdraw it would be 8 days. This was on the 23rd, so it's been 8 or 9 depending on how you count the days. I get that it's still during the trading week, so I might get it Saturday or Sunday, so I'm watching out for that. I want to make sure that I get this back, and then if I feel comfortable with it, I'm going to dump a couple grand back into to the protocol and let it sit and just let it ride. They are locking it up now for either 30 or 60 days, so if you do a withdrawal request, it's going to take a month for you to get it, or maybe even 2 months. Which is fine. That's not a huge deal as long as people know what they're getting into. For me, of course, refund will be distributed in 8 days. This is what I'm looking for. It's now 8 days, so I'm hoping I receive this today or at least by Sunday, and then I can reevaluate, know the protocol is at least still giving refunds and giving payouts. One thing I have noticed is the trades seem much riskier. So when they win, man, they're making tons of money, and when they lose, they're these are big drawdowns. That concerns me a little bit. So I kind of want to watch. I mean, I don't mind some high risk stuff. This is all risk capital for me, so I'm fine making some super degen plays. But I assess my risk level on these plays on just how much I'm going to position size in. So if they're going to run really crazy risky trades, maybe it's like $1,000 buy-in for me. If they're leveling out and it's a little more calm, maybe it's like $2,500. But I definitely don't want to leave this $5,500 in here with these big swings. I mean, I think last week they posted just crazy killer profits, which would have paid me out a ton on $5,500. But this week isn't looking so good as far as the trading. So I don't know. It's just a little concerning to me. I've traded for a long time, and risk management is just a big part of it. It's like you want those big wins, and they're fantastic when they happen, but when you have big drawdowns and then things get emotional and people are going to be requesting refunds and not get them for a month or two, and there's just a lot that goes into the psychology of trading. And so I'm hoping they tone those down a little bit and find a happy medium. Maybe take a high risk play now and again, but not have it be like a daily thing. But that's just my 2 cents. So I'm hoping I get my $5,500 back, because that's a lot of money, and then I'll reassess. I'll at least throw probably $1,000 back in, up to $2,500, and then I'll go from there. Flex IRA, not too much to talk about here. They're still crushing it. They hit the cap of 1.25 million, and all this is real world utility and everything, so that's nice. If they ever lift the cap again, then I do have a referral. I only really have one person that jumped on this. It's invite only. There's a specific cap of investors and dollar amount or whatever, so it's a little bit tougher to get into, but I think this is a really good long-term play. And I just watched an AMA with the team the other day on Pocket Aces channel, and it was solid. They're doing some really good things in the future, so this is one that could last a really, really long time. And last but not least, Classic Miner. Classic Miner is still hanging in there. Let me refresh here. All right, they still have 82 BNB. My rate is constantly falling because I've claimed a little bit. So far, I've claimed 3 BNB of the 4, so I'm 75% to ROI. This is just collecting. I have been compounding a little bit, adding my little 10% to build this up, and then I'm going to build it up to 0.25 or something like that, and then claim, and then compound for a little bit. The way the contract works and the way these miners work, how it just like decreases your percentage, this 82 is going to take a lot longer. This got up to about 200 BNB, I think, and then it's just been slowly dropping a little bit fast in the beginning, and now that it's got to like 100, it's just going really slowly because people aren't, once they start claiming, it drops their percentage rate, so they're not able to take out a ton. So this one's interesting. I'm just trying to play it to where I can come back and make a profit. So far I'm 75% ROI, and you know, just an interesting miner. The tokenomics were a little bit weird, particularly with people who were redepositing. That's why they basically killed that option. I think that was just a snafu in the contract, if you will. But anyway, that's the deal. Hopefully I didn't forget too much. Shout out to Spritz. Spritz is still by far my favorite payment application or protocol. So this is the one you would want to use, of course, for off-ramping your cryptocurrency to multiple banks, paying bills, paying credit cards, paying your mortgage. You can do that directly from your crypto account, and it's fantastic. So shout out to those guys. I know people have talked negatively about Spritz too, but Spritz is the most awesome off-ramp and bill pay service that I've ever used. It's super clean. I use it multiple times a week. I am not sponsored by Spritz, but I sure wish I was. So that's it. Let me know what's going on in your world. I do have a couple protocols that I might cover. Right now I'm kind of looking at stuff that is immutable contracts, because even though they have Ponzi tokenomics, of course, the deal is to get in right at launch. So get in as fast as you can if it's something that you actually want to do. And then we ride it out. We make our 10, 20, 30% profit, and then we're done. So that's the stuff I'm kind of leaning toward right now. We've had some good luck with some of these trading protocols early on, and then eventually stuff just falls apart. I don't know if it's just the dollar amount that these people are in control of gets so great that they decide to take it and run. But whatever the case is, it seems like, you know, you can make money, I guess, if you get in right at the gate, but just be really cautious. I tend, if I feel confident in them, I just keep adding money like I did with Delta Ventures and ended up just getting crushed. So I know some of you guys are the same. That's my concern with green figures, is I've added so much money over time now that I'm actually like a little concerned that if it doesn't go well, I'll get burned on it. I really trust George. I just don't know Mo well enough to know whether, you know, they're going to be honest and keep the train running. I'm hoping that's the case. Hoping I get my refund. I'm going to put more money back into the protocol, and then I'll be, you know, feel like I'm more adequately position sized for the risk level that they're taking on the trade. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, sorry for rambling. Hope you guys are doing well. I know it's a long weekend, at least here in the US. So if you guys are traveling, going on vacation with your family or whatever, please be safe. And as always, happy investing.